Guys, looks like Todibo transfer to United is going to be hijacked by a certain team in the Premier League, and this is the sad story of the day, and we're obviously coming through to bring you the latest information as far as the synopsis of this Todibo story is all about. Is United really interested in Jean-Clair Todibo? That's what we are yet to confirm to you, the viewers of United Matters channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And I'm here to obviously let you know that this is the best place for you to be. That is it. If you ever think of really getting United content, think not far than this channel. Rokan David is my name. You can as well call me RD. And here we come in peace to bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. Jean-Clair Todibo has been on the ladder of Man United since last summer. He was one of those players that Erik ten Hag was looking at after he missed out on Kim Min-jae and Disasi, and he is really under the club of Nice, and that club of Nice is owned by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. If you know Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the soon to be announced new 25% minority shareholder in the club of Man United. So I've gone ahead to really give you the bed or the foundation such that where we are going, you get to know the player that we're talking about, that is owned or is under the club, managed or owned by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Hikum, and hope you guys are really having fun, right? And here we come in peace to obviously bring you the latest as far as this story is really concerned. I'm going to obviously start it off from where it really commenced and where it has gone ahead to reach the level of hijack and losing out this guy. Now, Miguel Delaney came out and obviously put out a story. He's a chief football writer at The Independent. He said it's only after sales that Man United will pursue purchases, especially after a summer that involved considerable expenditure. Top of the list are a centre half, commonly expected to be Nice's Jean-Clair Todibo, and potentially another number 8. That is it coming in through from Miguel Delaney, Independent, confirming to us that money problems are really surrounding Man United, and they are really not able to obviously get in players, not until they obviously sell. And when you really add up those dots on what has gone ahead to really be told us today, that the United side, the technical side headed by the director of football, that is John Matter, that United might not be able to make recruitments in the January transfer window, and then he moves to Saudi Arabia to make sales. It adds up to what Miguel Delaney was telling us about Jean-Clair Todibo, that we are supposed to first sell to buy. But John Matter has gone ahead and told us that we are not even supposed to buy, because it's not the plan of United to recruit players during the January transfer window, because there is no way it really goes ahead to obviously give us the best results as the club of Man United. So I went ahead and obviously reacted to that. It's the video that I did before this, and you can as well check on it. So after him, there came another guy known as Political, coming in from Germany. He works for Sky Sports, confirming to us that Jean-Clair Todibo remains a candidate for Man United in January. A possible transfer for Todibo should not affect the potential signings of Antonio Silva, who is still a top target for the club of Man United. So Political tells us that Todibo remains a top candidate for Man United in January. His coming in through will not affect the coming in of Antonio Silva. Antonio Silva plays for Benfica. He's 19-20 years of age, very quality centre-back, and very many clubs are really looking at him. But everyone is hinting about the January transfer window for Todibo, and Todibo is really a very good centre-back, and I think he can obviously work for us well. So after all that, we got a story coming in from Ninza Kinsella, and he was the first person to break this story, that Tottenham Hotspur have joined Man United and Liverpool in the race to sign Jean-Clair Todibo in January. He's available for £39 million. Now, when you look at Todibo, Jean-Clair, United need to be having £40 million to really get this deal done. And that means they need to get rid of certain players out of their squad to get in a £40 million player. And if you ask me, if there is a player that would ever want to leave the club of Man United, I think if you tell me that you're sending away Lindelof, maybe and Rafael Varane, and you're getting in Todibo, I'll tell you yes. You know, because Todibo is really a great player, prospectful, his age is really well, and we look at his price, £40 million, it's really good. And I'm really asking myself, how can we lose such a deal to a side like Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool, yet this player is at a club that is being owned by the new guy who wants to be the 25% minority share owner in the club of Man United. Then we got Rob Guest, Tottenham Hotspur reporter for the Football London, also confirmed us that Tottenham Hotspur have held talks of a potential move for Manchester United target Jean-Clair Todibo, right? Then Mail Sport went ahead to tell us that Tottenham Hotspur have held further talks over a potential move for £35 million Nice defender Jean-Clair Todibo, who is keen to join Ange Postecoglou. So they tell us he's keen. And then coming in from Nice Martin, Nice Martin is really a source that gets in stories from the Nice club in France, telling us that Tottenham Hotspur have Jean-Clair Todibo in their transfer agenda ahead of the upcoming January transfer window, and are one of the clubs particularly watching the player ahead of the market reopening in the new year. So I wanted to really paint for you a very clear picture on a virgin canvas that there is a hijack loading. Tottenham Hotspur are really leading the race to sign this guy. And remember, we have been talking to the side of Nice and Todibo ever since the summer. Todibo is positive to Man United, but he was let down by United not going ahead to obviously sign Todibo. And it was close. Todibo had gone ahead to agree a deal with Man United, but the problem was Harry Maguire said no, because he wanted United to compensate his entire deal, because at West Ham he was going to earn only £100,000 a week, and he wanted United to compensate the remaining years of his contract. So in so doing, it really left United in total confusion, and they couldn't obviously have money to bring in Todibo, So Ten Hag decided to bring in Johnny Evans to obviously get us going, and to make it hard, we got an injury of none other than Lisandro Martinez, one of the most consistent players under the Eric Ten Hag era. So for Jean-Clair Todibo, he's really one of those players that United wants. Ten Hag wants him, and it will be a shame if I will lose him to Tottenham Hotspur, right? Before Liverpool also comes in through, because Liverpool are also looking in for centre backs. The only two solid ones they have, it's Konate and Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk has come of age. I think he's in his early 30s. Konate is young, so they need to get in another young player to do the needful for them, and that is Liverpool. Todibo is like 23 years of age and is going to have to prove himself great. I've always reiterated my words about him, that to show that he's really good at the French national team, Todibo is valued more than William Saliba, meaning that he might be another monster of a defender that we might be missing out to teams like Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool. Going to Tottenham Hotspur, they're having one of the best central defense pairings of Romero and Van der Ven, and Spurs having gone ahead to lose Van der Ven and Sergio Romero, and went ahead to obviously lose out very many games. It has gone ahead to their notice that they need another quality defender, because they don't have some good backup defenders to do the job. Davis, this other guy is called Dyer. They can't really do the job. That's it. We just have to obviously understand. So they are pushing in for Todibo. But one thing I'm seeing in here is that Man United can even get Todibo on loan if at all the deal of Nice really comes to pass. Of Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes to pass. And it will be very, very bad to empower our enemy, yet one of the owners of the club of Man United owns this player way back 100% at Nice. So it will depend on what Sir Jim Ratcliffe decides, because he can even say, I'm going to sell this player for £20 million at Man United. And what are you going to do to him? Nothing. So the biggest disappointment will be us empowering Liverpool or Tottenham Hotspur to get in Todibo. If this deal is announced, as it's said that it's going to be announced before Christmas, and I don't want obviously to do stories about that deal because every time they've gone ahead to let us know that they're announcing it next week. This week is going to be announced. It has been postponed. So I'll only come out to talk about that when the deal is announced. But before it's announced, I'm not going to confirm it or really say that on such and such a date it's going to be announced. So for me, Todibo is a very good player, and we cannot afford losing out on a player like him. Why? If you get into Todibo, that means the future in our central defense is really bright. Why? Todibo is 23 and Lisandro Martinez is 24, 25, meaning that you can build a central defense that is really good and has a lot of longevity, But when you look at the very many defenders that you're having that are really in their 30s and others nearing their 30s, you worry a little bit. Varane is 30. Harry Maguire, I think, is 30. Lindelof, I think, is 28, nearing 30. Luke Shaw, 27, 28, also 2 years to his third decade, of his age. Evans is 35. So, in such a situation, you cannot be living onto the mercy of such players. We need to be recruiting in players that are really young in age. I look at the project of Arsenal, and I really feel like they're really doing the good job. And Ilkay Gundogan snubbing Arsenal for Barcelona was a very, very good blessing in disguise, because Arsenal are willing to bring in Ilkay Gundogan. But look at what Kai Havertz is becoming. He has gone ahead to score, I think, now. He has gone ahead to score, I think, like 6 goals coming through the midfield areas. So, to me, I would prefer young players than old players. The only way you go in for an old player is when you feel like he's the missing piece in your jigsaw, right? Like Sally Ferguson went in for Robin Van Persie to win the title. You remember when Emre Larsson came in through and obviously did the needful. But it's always bad for a rebuild to be having or to be comprised of old players. And ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, we've gone ahead to be doing that. Louis van Gaal, we had Falcao, we had Bastian Schweinsteiger, and you ask yourself, what was their role at the club of Man United? Then, under Jose Mourinho, we saw players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic coming in through the club of Man United. Old players. We had players like Sanchez, a player that had hit his prime and he was on his descendancy, coming at the club of Man United and earning £500,000 a week. We are having a weird recruitment. Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we saw players like Cavani, 33 years coming at Man United. Ronaldo, 35 years coming in through the club of Man United. Who else? So, we've been characterized of that, And for Erik ten Hag, I think he has only gotten in one player, Casemiro, who has a lot to offer, and we saw why he obviously came in through and really made this team look better at 30 years. Then Eriksson was really below. Eriksson was a free gift. He came in as a free agent at the age of 30. So when you look at that, you really go ahead and really give Erik ten Hag a very good credit for signing players that are really in the right age. Andre Onana, 27. The goalkeeper, when he's 27, looks like he's like 20, because he can be in that goal for the next 7 or 10 years. He brought in Malacia, 22, 23 years of age. Lisandro Martinez, 24 years. He brought in Mason Mount, he's 24. He brought in Anthony, 22 years of age. He brought in Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund is 20 years of age. Amrabat, 27 years of age. Who else came in through? You get? So when you look at the players that the manager is going to have to bring in through, they're really of the right age. And that age will obviously do wonders to the club of Manchester United. For me, I want Todibo in, and that hijack, if it goes through, I'll feel bad, because we have an eye to obviously scout good players. But why don't we win these races? Because I asked someone, tell me a race that we're ever going to hit to win when you're really having a player that you are competing for. I think it has just gone ahead to happen recently when Erik ten Hag is here. We won the race of Rasmus Højlund because teams like PSG were interested in him and they had made a bid, you know. For Amrabat, we won a race. Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, you know, West Ham, Fulham, and very many others were interested in signing him, and he said, no, I'm going to Erik ten Hag's Man United. Then the other player, Mason Mount, was wanted by Liverpool and Arsenal. The player made a decision and said, no, I'm going to Manchester United, and is donning into the shirt number 7. Though the curse of that shirt number is obviously haunting him. So, tell me your thoughts about Todibo to United transfer hijack in the comment section below. Do you think we are going to get into Todibo? I'm waiting for your reactions into the comment section below. Good night, those going to bed, those still awake. Good morning, and thank you. We thank God for the gift of life. We cover everyone in the blood of Jesus Christ at this 3 a.m. hour, and the Muslims Barakallahu Fikhum. Wednesday it is. Rokan David is my name. I'm out.